Welcome to Tennessee Valley this morning as we
Good morning, we just chat.
Kim and I have been here since yesterday morning. We did Tuesday show, those of you that watched yesterday.
Well, actually we've been here since Monday night. We started Monday night.
Monday night. We have not left. We've not slept, eaten, or anything. We just...
I can tell you haven't eaten.
I haven't
Good job
eaten
there, buddy,
in years. In years. Welcome to Tennessee Valley this morning. Joe and Kim Palo with you on this middle of the week Wednesday. We are so glad that you have joined us today. This is our normal, regular time of hosting this show. We host yesterday, Tuesday. Matt Ryerson and Matt Tolbert and Sarah Anderson have taken a little leave of absence hiatus. They will be back next Tuesday, though.
They are. They're coming back, and hopefully the babies are coming. Both Matt Tolbert and
well, Matt and Matt are coming. Well, oh, you mean the babies?
Their
babies,
wives not the babies. But yes, they've both got newborns at home, and I'm telling you, I mean, those ladies trained those guys right. I mean, they had to stop their foolishness and playing around on TV and stay home.
We don't know really. We were not flies on the wall. We don't know how that really went down.
Yeah. I know how that went down.
Saying?
And good job, ladies.
We don't know how that really went down. I can picture.
All I know is that we were here yesterday. Rebecca was here.
Right. Well, what I can imagine that little mealy mouth thing coming from Tolbert. Okay. But Ryerson is a man's man. He probably said, Heather, I'll stay and help just because I want to, not because you're telling me. In fact, I think that's what he said.
Well, you know, but isn't Tolbert your Miami Dolphin friend?
He is my Miami Dolphin.
And you just trashed him?
No, I didn't trash him.
You could have trashed Ryerson.
No. I didn't trash Tolbert. I'm just speaking a truth.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to help him.
Kind of like when Ryerson and I speak the truth about the Dolphins.
No, Kim, don't start on that. Don't start on that. Because Johnny's in the house and he's a Dolphin fan too. Oh, he'll smack you around right after I get done. So anyway, but no, Tolbert, I'm trying to help him.
Oh, okay.
Because all of us Dolph fans stick together, and I'm trying to build him back up, so I'm trying to help get rid of the mealy mouth thing.
Oh, are you?
Yeah,
because that served you so well, right?
Huh? Kim, come on, woman. Mother, you do what I say. No, but anyway, I just... But they are our friends. They will be back, though, next Tuesday.
They are, so everybody said
but just for that one Tuesday, though, right?
Just for that one Tuesday. Yeah, they're not let out of the house for good yet. I mean, summer's not over.
Yeah, but they will be back. But in any case, we were here yesterday, so we're here today. We've had a great show yesterday. We have a wonderful show today.
We do.
Don't we?
Yes, we do. We have Linda Heisey, and she goes with Blood Assurance. And we were talking before about them coming. She says, you know, we always need blood. And that's sad, but it is true that Blood Assurance is always in need of your donations, of your blood, truly your blood. Maybe not so much sweat and tears, but your blood. And so Linda is here today. They are celebrating a milestone. They have been here for 40 years, and it's an anniversary of theirs. And so we're going to talk to her a little bit about that and about the needs in the community. And then we have Dr. Johnny McDaniel is here, and he is the superintendent for the county schools.
Bradley County
Schools. And he's here to talk to us about the wheel tax. Now we had Andrew Morgan last week.
Who pontificated.
And so, fair share of time here. Johnny, we're going to let you tell us why we need to vote yes on that wheel tax. And then, of course, Ron Moore. We missed him last week.
But we did have, we want to thank Doug Mizell, who stood in for Ron last week. And really, very interesting topic about preparing.
Ron, wherever you are, you're very interesting.
Yeah, Ron is interesting too.
Interesting.
Okay. But no, Doug was talking about being prepared. Next time we have some severe weather, what you need to take heed of and have in advance, which is a big help. But Ron comes and talks to us about history.
Right, and he makes up what he doesn't know.
Always imparts in us some history, some
So he's got a great show.
Menial history. But no, Ron has been part of our family for a very long time, and I don't mean like literally, but not the TMP family, but the Palo, the Matthews.
Well, the Matthews, right? My dad
for a long time.
Was very much involved with him when he started in the television ministry, and he was, and that was back when it was
Telecable.
Telecable, that's right.
Remember
Ron
that?
Moore.
Ron had a lot more hair, like we all did. Well, he and I. Yeah, and so we've known Ron a very long time. And he comes on the show every week.
And Mr. Johnny McDaniel, I've known almost
all my life.
Since we were children.
And see, without really, because I was part of that too, without even knowing. I was when we met, I was like, what, 6?
5.
We started dating?
Mentally.
No, I was like what? I was 17?
It was your 17th birthday was our first date, Joe.
17?
It wasn't really a date. It wasn't really a date. But the first time.
Oh, that's when you stayed out very late.
Yes, and I got grounded.
You got in trouble.
I did. All for you, Joe.
See that? And look, voila, we're married now.
First time I had ever, and I'm an only child, so.
Yes.
Not to mention the whole state.
Well, see, the whole thing is, though, I did not understand the dynamics of the.
He was Catholic.
I was born and raised Catholic. I was an altar boy, for goodness sakes. And her dad, may he rest in peace, great man, was a general official with the Church of God of Prophecy. So it was like this and like this, and then we got together.
Both parents were very proud and very excited for that wedding to happen.
I mean, her parents were just like very, then we're going to meet this boy. And my mom and dad were like, what, Joe? When is she coming over? Is she coming over? Soon or what? So that was my parents, and then that was her parents. So you should have seen the rehearsal dinner. That was like surreal. This side of the table,
left side versus the right side.
This side of the table is like, so let's pray. Right, let's pray for our meal. This side, my side of the family. Hey, Sonny, have another drink over here. Totally like, and so that's when we should have.
We should have known that.
We should have known.
But it was just funny to us more than anything else. It was funny.
But 34 years later.
34 years later, Joe.
Wow. In fact, 34 years. See, this is good. This because it's like a vice. This Sunday, we celebrate our 34th wedding anniversary, the 24th. See that? No, I'm kidding. I jest. I kid because I love.
Absolutely.
Okay,
let's do
the show.
I'm having a hot flash. 34 years.
We got to do the show. All right, we're going to be back we have, as we said, Johnny McDaniel, and we have Ron Moore. And Linda Heisey is on the way. When we come back after this commercial break, Kim.
Okay, Joe.
We'll be back right after this. Stay tuned.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Have annoying biting and stinging insects taken over your yard? Volunteer Rid-A-Pest can get it back. Make your yard a no-fly zone with Mosquito Guard. Volunteer Rid-A-Pest will eliminate these annoying pests, and you'll be able to work in your yard, have a pool party, a cookout, allow your children to play outside, or just sit outside and enjoy the evening. Volunteer Rid-A-Pest has developed an extremely effective treatment program that treats all shrubs, bushes, trees, and other foliage where mosquitoes and other biting, stinging insects live and breed. This material will not harm your plants or trees and leaves no harmful residue. This treatment program is safe for use around children and pets, but the best part is it's 100% guaranteed. If you are not 100% satisfied, Volunteer Rid-A-Pest will retreat for free until you are satisfied, or after 30 days, will cancel their agreement and refund 100% of your money. Give Volunteer Rid-A-Pest a call for a free no-obligation estimate. Phone 472-7736.
I'm Wes Robbins with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. When it comes to employee benefits, we've got you covered. Call me today for the best service and best solutions to your group health and employee benefits needs. At Landmark Insurance Brokerage, we've got you covered.
Hello welcome back to Tennessee Valley this morning as we reminisce about the wonderful 34 years we spent together.
That's right.
Yeah, so we're back, and we have Linda Heisey
like
with
the
us.
drink, Heisey
from Blood Assurance.
Good, Joe.
So I did that with my
I
pinky.
am. He's
Blood
a pinky
Assurance.
man. I'm telling you.
Linda, first of all, thank you for being with us this
Thank you
morning.
for having me. This is a blast.
Yeah, see what can happen early in the morning.
I'm telling you, it's coffee cup early.
Really
right.
caffeine early.
Well, first of all, let's talk about the wonderful things that Blood Assurance does. And we know we've had Blood Assurance on before, and a great asset to this community, any community, I should say. But right now, as always, you all are in the need of blood.
We are, and you know, as Kim was mentioning, we are always needing blood.
Right.
It's a terrible thing to have to say that, but every day patients use it. So whether they're at Bradley Hospital or if they're down in Chattanooga at Erlanger or some other place, we're providing that blood for those patients, and we go through 400 units every single day, every day.
That was, I think, the last time that Blood Assurance was here. It was just astronomical,
Yes.
and you just don't think about it. I mean, every once in a while, you know, they have the drives, and they have the certain things where you see the mobile unit around, and you think, oh, I need to do that, and it's really not a big deal. I mean, you think, why don't I do that more often? Because you can never have enough.
Absolutely.
You're never full.
We are never overflowing.
Okay, right.
Exactly.
And so this is something we should really be aware of and keep this in our head.
This is true, and you know, nobody wakes up in the morning and says, "Oh, I think I'm going to go give blood today."
I can't wait to go give
that's
blood.
just not the top of their mind. There's so many other things going on, and we understand that. So that's why we give you those irritating, annoying phone calls, calling to remind you that you need to give blood. But every day we need 400 units. Obviously, the most important type is O negative, because anybody can use O negative blood. If you're O negative, you're gold.
You're gold.
You're just the best. And then right now we're actually in a shortage of A negative, B negative, O negative as usual, and a little bit of O positive, and which is unusual for us because O positive is basically the most common.
That's what I am.
That's what I am too.
I'm O
I am.
positive, yeah.
I like to call it the most popular though.
That's right. We're the most popular blood.
So, you know, it's odd that we need that type of blood. It's always something we always have a lot of. But right now, I think between the heat, people on vacation, doing things, it's just a hard time to get blood in here. And the really sad thing is that we are celebrating our 40th anniversary, and we want to see that. We want to see more and more people and brand new donors come in.
Right.
Right, because that you pretty much have a base that you go back to over and over, and especially when an emergency situation comes.
Absolutely, but you know what? Those people are tired of getting them.
I know.
And I think the last time we mentioned this, we had Blood Assurance here, but someone can give and then earmark that blood for them or their family members,
correct.
if in fact.
If you are going to have surgery and you need to, if your doctor tells you you're probably going to need 2 units of blood, and you feel more comfortable coming in and donating your own blood, and the doctor says that you are healthy enough to do that, you can come in, donate your own blood. We'll keep it for you, send it to the hospital when you are having your surgery. Now, on the flip side of that, if you know someone who is, if Joe is going in for surgery and you wanted to make sure that there was enough blood there for him, you could go in and actually donate blood in his name, for him to use. And that's a directed donation that goes directly to the patient that you're saying, if you're the same blood type.
Right, and that's especially for those people out there that have the rare blood types.
Correct.
What is the most rare blood type? Is that AB negative?
It's probably that AB
something?
negative, but you
Right.
know the difference with it being the most rare and O negative, which is the most rare, but I mean, it's very rare, but anybody can use it.
Use that, but it's rare.
Yes,
not O
it
negative.
is. It
It's
is
very
rare, but it is the universal blood type. So if you're in an accident and someone doesn't have time to type your blood, they're going to give you O negative blood,
Right.
because that is compatible with every blood type.
That's amazing, and I didn't realize that it was that rare. That
Yeah,
it was really a rare one.
it's
so all
really-
you O negatives, get
Yes.
mine.
We love you.
Let me ask you a question.
We got a lollipop here.
And
Tootsie Roll.
again, they say there's no stupid questions. However, in my head, I'm thinking this is dumb. This is dumb. But what would happen if somebody got the wrong blood type, one that isn't compatible? What happens to your body? What goes on?
They would die.
Oh, that's serious.
Now there's a murder plot.
Oh, okay.
It's the truth, you know.
Wow,
And
I didn't know that.
absolutely. When Blood Assurance takes your blood, they will take it to our lab and we process it, test it, type it. We know exactly what type of blood it is. Then when we send it to the hospital, when they make their orders, they type it again.
Right.
And they look at your armband or your chart to make sure they are giving you the correct blood
Wow, I
type.
didn't
It is
know that.
serious, unless you're just fortunate enough to get O negative, and it goes on with anybody.
Right.
Right.
So-
That's amazing.
And another thing I think folks need to know, as we talked about last time, we had blood assurance there, it's a misnomer. You can be a diabetic and
Yes,
still give blood.
Absolutely. You can have high blood pressure. I have high blood pressure. I can donate blood. You can be diabetic as long as you're not on the bovine insulin, then you're fine to give blood. There's a lot of things, even cancer. Some cancer survivors
really?
can give, depending on if it's not a blood cancer.
yeah.
If it's localized.
But exactly.
Right.
So
Now,
there's a lot of things.
What things would keep someone from just mostly contagious, I guess, in the
Sure.
immune system type
Absolutely.
disorders?
Like probably if you have lupus, you can't.
Right.
Now, if you're pregnant,
Really?
you cannot give. But that's only for the safety of your baby.
Okay, the
Because you were
fetus.
taking so much out of you that would be detrimental to your baby. So if you're pregnant, you can't give. If you are have been on antibiotics in the last, I think it's 48 hours, you can't give. And obviously, if you have AIDS or HIV positive, you can't give, or hepatitis.
But
So-
for most of the other disorders that
Absolutely.
we all have,
Most
one thing or the
things,
other, as we
yes,
get older,
absolutely.
something. I mean, I got hormones everywhere. I mean, I'm
They're laying all around the house. They're in every room.
in your wake. I mean, you don't know.
You just come on in,
But-
bring your hormones with you.
Those hormones don't like me though, Linda.
I can't stand
You know what? If you need to get away from those hormones, you come on
give
down
blood.
here.
Just take it all out of me, please. Give me some blood that doesn't work with me, please.
So, ladies, your hormones are no excuse.
Absolutely.
Maybe you'll get rid of a few that are raging.
Even some of those things we call happy pills. You
Right,
know,
even the happy,
it's
that's okay. It sits right through. In fact, if I am in the hospital, I want your blood. You with the happy pills? Take yours for me. That's right, take yours for me.
It's just amazing. The FDA has allowed so many more of the medications that used to be on the no-no list.
Right.
They've taken those off, and because it doesn't affect you, you know,
No,
it's
and it's all gets washed out in the wash. It all
Absolutely.
goes out in the wash.
Absolutely.
It goes away sooner or later. It doesn't get to stay in there. You don't get to stay
But
happy.
you know, and in all seriousness, it's not just blood that people donate; it's plasma.
It's platelets.
Platelets.
It's platelets. We, in fact, when I talk about when I donate, I'm actually donating platelets.
Okay.
I do better with that. And there's some people that don't, some that want to give the whole blood, and that's fine. But when I donate, I give platelets. They only take the platelets out of my body, and they put
Okay.
everything else back in. So it's
They're
a
telling you a story.
But you know, I actually get to watch
Sure,
it.
they just took the platelets.
There used to be a process where you had 2 needles in
Okay.
one in each arm. So you would see it come out of one and go in the other. But now it all goes through a single needle process, so you can scratch your nose or itch. But it does. You can watch it, and it'll take your blood out, and it'll remove the platelets, put them in a separate bag, and then it will return your red blood cells back to you.
Now, what's the reasoning for that and doing it that
the
way?
benefit from that.
Because cancer patients need just platelets.
Okay.
Okay.
Because their body is not making that. So a lot of those platelets last a shorter lifespan than the red blood cells, and you can give more times. Like a platelet donor can give 24 times a year. And that's it. They could give basically
month?
that's twice. Yeah.
Right.
So you could do that. Whereas a whole blood donor has to wait 56 days to donate
Okay.
whole blood.
Okay.
Okay.
So, you know, it's whatever works best for you. Whole blood donations about 30 minutes of your time, and platelet donations can go over an hour. Depends on how fast your system
Your
uses
system
it. Yeah,
goes back up.
but I enjoyed it. It's a little rest. You get to sit down and
Right.
relax.
Relax a
Anything
little
is
bit.
better than being away from the hormones. So yeah,
Get away from the
So
hormones,
that's right, get
get
away
away
from the
blood.
hormones for a little bit.
That's
Well,
our next T-shirt.
There you go. Step away from the hormones and give blood. Now, tell us about your 40-year celebration. What have you got? Anything special going on?
Well,
I know it was the end of May that this,
yes,
it's
it
really
was actually
in
the 1st of June,
Right.
and we just had a great great celebration. It's a wonderful thing to look at how small we were when we started back in 1972, and unlike some people, I was alive then. But 40 years of seeing things happen. I think we drew about 10,000 units of blood, back in those days. Now it's over 100,000.
Wow.
Every year. So we serve just a few hospitals, and now we have over 50 hospitals. It's incredible, the changes. The FDA's made so many changes in the blood industry too. We're just thrilled to death to be able to say that we've been serving the community for 40 years. That's a long time.
And I think people need to know, is this true, that the blood that they donate here stays here?
Absolutely. Good point, Joe, because people don't know that. Sometimes they just go, well, we're just going to give to whoever's taking blood. Well, that's fine. Everybody needs to donate blood, and if you're going to donate it, and you just donate it wherever. However, with Blood Assurance, that blood comes right back here. It goes to Chattanooga. We test it. Then it goes back to the hospitals in your area. So if you're in if you're up in Athens, you probably come here for your medical care, and Polk County, and just all kinds of things. They're all coming right here, and it stays here. It's neighbors helping neighbors, friends helping friends.
Wow. That's really good. I mean, we always talk about local and fresh.
Right. That's right.
Right.
My local. Please local.
Get your
That could be. There's another T-shirt. We got a few T-shirts
going on this
morning. Local.
Because you get a T-shirt every time you donate blood.
That's right.
There you go.
That's right.
We love that. We love to see our blood donors out wearing our T-shirts, and it's a good way for advertising for us. Plus, it's a badge of courage. They go, look here, I gave blood.
That's right.
I
you get a little sticker when you vote.
Yeah, that's
Why
right.
not get
That's
a
right.
T-shirt
Get a
when you
T-shirt
vote?
when you get blood. There you go.
And so another question though is your locations, because I know you've got the stationary location where you're located on Keith Street, but you also have the bloodmobile that goes around and collects blood.
Absolutely. We actually have 10 bloodmobiles in 10 locations,
Okay.
so they can go anywhere. If your business wants to come ahead and have a blood drive, give us a call. We can bring the bloodmobile out there, and it's fun. Everybody's doing it with their co-workers, or if a church wants to do it.
Yeah.
We ask that you have at least 40 people. By the time that we get our staff there, and with gasoline and all that stuff, by the time that we get there, we need 40 to make it a successful drive. And some people don't know that they're going to be deferred when they get in there because their iron's not high enough, or something of that nature. They've got a temperature. Because we give you a little mini physical before you go. It's not scary. Let me just tell you, it's not scary.
It's not invasive.
The worst part is that little finger stick, and that's it. The blood pressure, your temperature, your just the normal things that they want to make sure that you're okay.
Right.
Make sure that you're not about to keel over before they drain your blood.
Make sure you don't need blood before you get blood.
Get blood, right? So therefore, but no, it is. It's not a difficult. No, I mean, we have a son that's a type 1 diabetic. Since he was 9 years old, he's been pricking that finger.
Yep.
I mean, for years and years and years. We used to look at me and go like this because they were all tattooed, and dirty when he was in trouble, and it worked. But anyway, that's not a big deal to do that and to get your blood pressure taken, and then you just relax and give the blood, and you feel better afterwards.
I think so.
I do. I mean, I feel better after I do it because I feel like I've done something that matters, and I haven't just.
In your heart, you feel good. Yeah. And let me tell you, another thing is that men need to do this because women. Okay, talking back about the hormones, and I'm sorry. Women.
Thank you. I appreciate the apology. I'm sorry too.
Women lose blood.
Yes, we do.
So we make new blood all the time, but men don't do that. So we consider it an oil change for men. Say, this is getting some fresh blood in your system.
Contrary to what you believe, it doesn't happen to me either. Okay, it's a reaction to you.
It is way too early.
It's a reaction to you. So really, So men, but you. How often does your blood turn over?
Oh, turn over.
It does. It probably, I just play a doctor on television.
Right.
Probably,
in a Holiday Inn
it
Express.
depends exactly. It depends on your body, but not just a few days. It builds it back up. But that's the reason for the 42-day. The 56 days waiting period. We want to make sure that once you've given blood, that it has time to reinvent itself, basically, and get you back up to speed. And then sometimes people are anemic, and that's one of the things that we have to make sure that that you're not anemic. That's what the finger stick is.
all
It's
about.
just going to see if how your blood count is. So.
Right. Well, great. I know folks out there probably are thinking, well, you know, I'll remember that when I have to go for surgery or
Right.
have somebody I know is in trouble. But you just need to go because there's people that you don't know that are in trouble that need the blood. So everyone that was in the sound of our voice or can see us needs to donate.
You absolutely are right. I say that every time you hear a siren, you just should think in your mind, have I given blood? What was the last time that I gave blood?
Right.
Because truly, somebody might need it right then, and you don't know who that is.
And you don't know that it's not somebody in your closest circle or in your at least your acquaintance
Exactly.
field. And you know, and it's such a it's
It's
so
easy.
convenient.
It's
easy,
convenient.
right? We're not,
It's
you know,
Doesn't
it's
hurt.
easy.
Yeah.
It's convenient. It's right there. It doesn't take that long. I mean, I know we all say we're busy and we're chasing ourselves and our hair's on
Lunchtime.
fire.
Go at lunchtime.
And everything else,
And
but
that-
we're really not that
absolutely.
busy.
We're not that
We're
busy.
not
And
that
it's 30
busy.
minutes and you're saving 3 people's lives with one donation. It's
Wow.
an incredible feeling to know that you're doing that. You know, firemen and policemen, they save lives all the time, and doctors, but this is the way that you can do it. And it's not always somebody who's in an accident or a traumatic situation. It could be someone who's having heart surgery,
Right,
you know,
right.
scheduled heart surgery. Women who are having babies sometimes
Right, need
lose
blood,
too
right.
much
Really,
blood.
absolutely.
Children that are having
children,
surgeries.
absolutely.
Well,
that's easy to get. When you start
Yeah.
saying you got a baby that needs blood, let me
Blood, you
tell
can
you,
get
that's
the
easy.
blood.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
you can get the blood for the babies, but you know, I'm not even sure Joe would give me blood at this point.
34 years,
Yes.
yes, he would.
Yes,
he
I-
would.
I didn't think about it for
No,
just
I
a
would,
minute
I
or
would.
two.
I would- I
She'll
would give
unleash
you-
those hormones. on
Kim,
you.
I'll give you a little blood if you need it. Don't worry about
That's
it.
right, I got
My
it.
blood's your blood.
That's right. And trust me, I've taken your blood. I'm sorry.
I know, yeah. Well, Lisa, listen to me. Linda, we appreciate you stopping by and
Thank
talking
you.
to us
Thank you.
today.
I've enjoyed
Thank
it.
you.
Appreciate
Oh,
it.
and we'd love to have you back.
Anytime. I just love it.
Not just in the next time you celebrate 40 years, but again,
yeah.
but,
Be here.
I plan to be me.
right, sitting right here. But yeah,
Walkers.
but if you could tell us real quick again where your location
Sure.
is,
Yeah,
and
and
then
your
your
hours,
hours,
what
operations,
best
and
time to
phone
come.
number.
We are there on Keith Street,
Right.
and everybody knows where we are. I think that we're across from Tractor Supply, just
Right,
right,
right.
there.
Trees and Trends.
Yes, Trees and Trends. And we're open from 8 o'clock until 6 o'clock every single day, and I believe they're open 9 to 1 on Saturday.
Wonderful.
So there's a time that works for you, you know.
Now, how young? I mean,
Oh, that's a
18,
good question.
21?
No, 16.
16.
16 with parental consent.
Teach your kids. That's
And-
right.
Oh, and
I
let
mean,
me tell you, I
great
really
lesson.
have to mention that the kids are wonderful in the school systems. They can't wait to become 16. Now, 16, they have to have parental consent. But age 17, they don't have to have it.
Okay.
And they are lined up to give. They just feel it's something that they're giving back. They're great kids.
Right.
Ah, see,
And this
it's a good-
community,
it's a
I'll
great,
tell you what.
great lesson
This,
to teach.
Yeah, it is. It's a great lesson, and of course, it's needed
Right.
daily,
It
as you
It is
heard.
needed.
It's something that you can do to help people.
And is there a website and a phone number?
There is. It's Blood Assurance, www. Do we still say
I
that?
don't think
Right.
so. I who uses it?
Bloodassurance.org, and our phone number is 423-756-0966.
0966.
Bloodassurance.org.
Right, now it's not the W, it's what comes after,
Yeah.
because we're like .net, they're
Yes.
.org, so, and
.com,
then,
all
right,
that.
and you got EDU in the building, so, just,
That's exactly right.
that's right.
Well, Linda, again, we appreciate
Thank
you stopping
you.
by. Thank you so much.
Great time. Thank
Linda
you.
Heisey of Blood Assurance. So don't forget, give blood today. You can do it today.
That's
Absolutely.
right.
Still early. Get
That's
up
right,
and go.
that's right, you got a little bit of time, get ready, go get
Eat some
dressed.
breakfast and go.
Eat some
There
breakfast
you
and
go.
go.
All right, folks, we're going to be back with more Tennessee Valley this morning. We got Mr. Johnny McDaniel in the house. Ron Moore's on the way as well. Stay
Bradley
tuned. Back with
County
more
is
Tennessee
home to a
Valley this morning
community of
after this.
resilient, compassionate families who want the best for each other. The tragedies of the April 27, 2011 tornadoes brought our community together to bring aid to the hurting and helpless. It is time to come together once more. The Bradley County school system is underfunded, and our future leaders are receiving their education in substandard learning environments. On August 2nd, you will have an opportunity to further impact our great community by voting for the wheel tax. A vote for the wheel tax will not only rebuild Blue Springs Elementary School, but it will provide a new facility that is engineered to meet the demands that technology places on the infrastructure. The overcrowded Walker Valley High School students and teachers will have much needed space and be able to use academic rooms for their intended purposes. The students and teachers of Lake Forest Middle School will no longer endure the hazardous conditions caused by the elements of nature and deteriorating classroom buildings. British philosopher Herbert Spencer stated, "The great aim of education is not knowledge, but action." Would you take action in the name of education and vote yes for the wheel tax? A vote for the wheel tax is a vote for the children and the future of Bradley County.
I'm Wes Robbins with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. When it comes to employee benefits, we've got you covered. Call me today for the best service and best solutions to your group health and employee benefits needs. At Landmark Insurance Brokerage, we've got you covered.
We're back. See,
he's getting ready to tell Joe something he didn't know.
See, but now everybody was going to know.
Everybody was going to know.
That's good.
I have known Johnny since, gosh, what, 74, 3?
I think so.
I think
we
so.
were just young teenagers.
Wow.
Yes.
The thing I know about Kim that you may or you probably know this, but she won the speech for American Democracy speech in high school across the state. She won up in Orlando. I won down in Fort Myers.
Were you in that?
Year.
See, she was in forensics. Yes, she did that, the forensics club. And I went a couple of times, but it wasn't really my cup of tea.
He was playing football, you know. He was, combing his hair.
I was combing my hair a lot.
Nice hair.
He had long hair.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he was very serious about, almost as serious as
But
he
Kim
is now,
was very good at that. I mean, Kim had a lot of
excellent.
trophies and won a lot in speech and debate. And
So don't mess with him.
But let me tell you this.
Now, do you tell me what my dad said?
Yes, well, her dad did send her to,
I went to the University of Southern Florida and went down for a summer forensics camp, you know, in a sense, and it was a debate camp. And he said that was the
He regretted that.
he ever made.
He regretted that because Buddy was she ready to argue.
1, 2, 3, sit down and shut up.
Yeah, I mean, when we started our arguing process early, she was pretty good because she had that. The only thing that took her back was, you know, she wasn't allowed to argue at home. Parents, if she's the only child, couldn't argue with your parents. So I was the guinea pig. So at a very young age, she practiced on me. And I would be at the beginning, it'd be like, well, yeah. That's what I would say because I didn't. And then I got pretty good, and it was like,
well, we were never loud. You know, there was never yelling at our house. That's how they communicated. Joe's family, so he could always shut me up
Southern
because he would
culture
just
versus New York culture.
He would just get loud, and I would be like, what?
Right.
Louder
and better.
Because he'd just get loud, and I would.
Right.
Never tried to reason.
Kim, we could talk about me forever, but enough about you. Let's talk about, first of all, we want to thank Johnny for being with us. And of course, Superintendent of Bradley County Schools, Johnny McDaniel. We're going to talk a little bit about the wheel tax because very important issue right now on the ballot will help education in this county tremendously, in the city as well.
Yes.
Tell us exactly what the wheel tax is.
The wheel tax will be an additional $32 for automobiles. Not a tax on every wheel. Some people have said that. It's $32 additionally
the board.
for your auto tag, $16 for motorcycles, and some of our senior citizens, they will have an exemption. They will have to apply back to the state. But for economically disadvantaged senior citizens, they would get a rebate back on the wheel tax.
So this is not going up to that amount, it's in addition to
It's an addition. Right now our tags cost $24,
Yes. Right.
and it would be an additional $32.
Okay.
And the way the commission passed the resolution to have the wheel tax on referendum is very specific, that those dollars will be used for education projects. And in fact, in this legislation, they actually stated the projects.
Okay.
We have requested money to add on to Walker Valley. Walker Valley is a great high school on the north side of Bradley County. Serves
school.
great students, one of the better high schools in the state of Tennessee. I'll brag on them. They do a great job.
And I'll brag on my buddy Scott
Webb. Right, he does so much
Scott's fantastic.
He works with us a lot.
Yes.
They do a great job with their TV production up there. Walker Valley is overcrowded. The school really was built for 1,200 with a core of 1,400, and this past year we had over 1,500 students.
Wow.
So we're running at overcapacity in that building, and we'd really like to expand the building. Station Camp over in Middle Tennessee, the same footprint, same design, same building. They've already expanded, and they're a little over 1,200 students. So we're a little behind at Walker Valley. We need to expand there. So this wheel tax would allow us to have funds to expand up there. We've received a FEMA grant that would help us in that project. So we're very excited that we could actually expand Walker Valley through the wheel tax. Down on the south side of Bradley County, Lake Forest Middle School was opened in the mid-70s. There have been structural issues with that building since the beginning, and we asked the commission for some funds to do some major repairs there. And we went down, there were questions, would that be the best investment? Just to repair the buildings there. There are over 15 buildings out and about. And the commission, along with the school board, looked at that facility and said, you know, it's really time that we do something about these buildings. They're in such bad shape, such poor design, that it's time to replace them. So we came back with a proposal, and we proposed to build a new academic building, leaving the core buildings at Lake Forest. So the cafeteria, the main office, the library, we would keep those buildings along with the gym and the little auditorium. And we would build a new 2-story academic building that would replace 13 outbuildings.
Oh, that would be so much better.
It would really be better for the students, how we move, how we manage the building. It would just be safer. It would be better for inclement weather. Just all the way around.
Just all the way around,
it would make it a much better functioning school. And then last of all, of course, the tornadoes of last year destroyed Blue Springs Elementary School. The board voted to close that school, not repair it. It was such a small facility, and it was an old facility. The damage was just total across the board. We would have had to really replace what we had there, and we would still have a 200-student school. So the board decided to take the insurance money, buy land, and ask the commission for building a new Southside Elementary School, a replacement for Blue Springs. We have 20 acres on Blue Springs Road at the corner of Old Federal and Blue Springs. Beautiful piece of property, the Clayton Farm. And that was purchased with insurance money. And we're ready to build a new school on the south side of Bradley County.
Did you have some diehard Blue Springers that were?
Of course.
Yeah, I can imagine
and I
that.
understand.
I mean, yeah, you understand it, but we got to get over it.
The community school is a hard thing.
Absolutely.
And we considered that, but we really felt that in the long term, this would be better for the community to have a new school. They deserve to have a new school on that side of Bradley County.
Right, they do.
So we're asking for that. And so those are the 3 projects that are in the legislation, along with the Cleveland City request. For a new elementary school. They would be getting funding anytime under the agreement between the city and county. Anytime Bradley County Schools receives money for capital improvement projects, the city gets half of what we receive, and that's in an agreement that goes back to the 60s and then reaffirmed in the 80s. So that would be in place. So they would get...
Isn't the city glad they have you, Johnny? Or they just, do they not call you every other day and say thank you for being there for us?
Yes, I'm glad to be the friend of the city. But, you know, in reality, the city residents pay their taxes.
Sure.
They deserve to receive the tax money for their schools. So when Bradley County schools receive money, Cleveland City schools for capital,
and it should be.
For capital projects.
And I think a lot of folks, it's not a secret. There are a lot of folks that may be in opposition of this for various reasons. Obviously, raising the deficit and having more.
Well, just debt, just more debt.
More debt, right, of the deficit that we have here in the county. But the bottom line is, like we talked about before we went on, I mean, there's a need that needs to be met. Whether we like it or not, whether we agree with it or not, there is a definite need here. And there's a reason, and this is a good way to help, at least in our state, to boost it up. But things like this and the people that are opposed to it, there's a reason. That's why the United States of America is like 25th in the world or whatever it is, underneath all these other countries in education, because what we need to do for the students, how we need to make things better. This is a way, at least in our area, to make things better, to right a wrong that happened with the tornadoes, and to help some of these, like Walker Valley, like you mentioned, and some of these other schools that need this boost. And to do it, how else do we do it? I mean, it's not like we're just brimming over money just falling out of our pockets. There needs to be a way. I think this is probably the best way to do it, because it's a way that we know the money's going directly into that. And as you said, it's not taxing every wheel. It's not taxing you every day. It's a tax. It's just a tax, a wheel tax on your vehicle. And
I think that ours are probably here in Bradley County. We have one of the lowest.
One of the lowest, isn't it?
In the nation.
Yeah.
We have
as far as our automobiles, with that, I know that Mom in Florida, well, everything in Florida, you can't. We won't even talk about taxes and insurance in Florida, but it is, extremely high. And so this is not bad, because we're looking at what, $50, $60 or $70? We're looking at something like that. 50,
well,
60?
if it's 24 and 32, so it would
is
be
the new one. Okay.
$56.
$56 to renew your registration every year.
It would still be one of the lowest, even one of the lowest wheel taxes in Tennessee. And we're one of the few counties across Tennessee where we don't have a wheel tax. Most communities have already enacted a wheel tax. Knoxville's is about $60.
Okay.
I have friends over in Middle Tennessee around Nashville. Theirs is $100. So I think ours is still very mindful of the community, mindful of the fact that it's an additional cost. But we asked for, the commission is asking for what they believe would finance the projects that we've discussed today. And that's the purpose, Joe. They would borrow the money, but that $32 would generate the funding to pay that off in 20 years. So it would be paid off. People say, well, in 20 years, will we keep the tax? Well, I don't know. This commission probably won't still be seated. Some of them will probably be retired by then. And
Mr. Alford will still be there.
Well, but there will be new younger people. Some of the students in Bradley County schools, I hope, are serving on that. And how they think about things may be different in those days.
Absolutely.
But we do know that there's a very strict, and it was purposeful by the commission. They wanted the people to know it would go for these education projects. It would go to pay that back. And if we do it cheaper, the money would go to pay the debt that had already been accrued here in Bradley County. So from that standpoint, I think it's good. People have different opinions about, should it have been a property tax, should it have been a wheel tax, and that wasn't for us to decide. The school board had no part of that. That's a county commission decision. They felt that this would be the best way to go about financing the requests that we had on the table.
Right.
And I think, too, a lot of people that may be in opposition don't have children, or have children that have already gone through the system, and they're like, well, but that's not the issue. The issue is not how
Joe,
it affects you.
Education is about the future.
Absolutely.
Even if people don't have children in school, they have doctors and lawyers and policemen and firemen and teachers and all kind of community leaders in school. The people who will take care of them tomorrow, they're in our schools today.
Right.
And if we don't teach them, if we don't train them, if we don't provide good opportunities for them, then what kind of a future do we have? And in America, we've believed it's part of our constitutional right that we provide every child with a free and appropriate public education.
And we're very proud of Bradley County that we are. I think we do a really good job. The South gets a bad name in a lot of ways, but I think Bradley County has a great school system. They've got a great superintendent sitting right over here.
Bradley County Schools, I believe, was the first. Was it Bradley County Schools was the first school of excellence? Bradley County High School. Was it not the first school of excellence in the state?
Well, that goes way back to the Reagan years, but yes, Bradley County was, Bradley High School was one of the first schools in the nation to be identified as a school of excellence.
And that's
That's what we still say, Joe. That's our motto, that we are a welcoming center of educational excellence. And we utilize our resources. We're one of the lowest funded systems in the state, but our scores still are some of among the top.
Right.
And we're proud of that. Now, at the same time, people say, well, you don't need more money. Well, the reality is we do. I have roofs across the system that need to be repaired that we just patch instead of really repairing them the way we would like to. And there are a lot of old air conditioning units, heating units that need to be replaced, and we're just not able to do that because of our funding level. But we really put our money in the classroom. We do our best to help our children succeed, and test data coming back that I was looking at today looks very good. I mean, when you see 5s across the board, it's very encouraging that you're doing something right. When 5's the top scorer and you've got straight 5s for last year, it's looking really good, and we're proud of that.
And the kids, students, whether you have a student in school or you have one coming up, you don't have any anymore and they're gone out of school, they need to be able to be in the classroom and not in some trailer that's adjoined onto the property. Come on, I mean, that's not conducive, I don't think, to...
That's what we had at Blue Springs.
Yeah.
We had 3 portables down, 3 trailers. Right. And I'm just glad that there were no children on the campus that day that we had sent them home. It would have been bad, and I'm glad that there were none there. There were some people who lost their lives right across the street from Blue Springs Elementary School. But that roof was lifted up and the walls shifted, and it was not a good situation. Right. And we're glad that the community is considering this tax so that we can build a new school down on that side.
Well, and the devastation is devastating. It needed to happen before the devastation. That area needs a new school. They deserve a new school. That's been there, Blue Springs, since I was a child. And so,
well, it was our oldest elementary school left.
Sure.
It was built 90 years ago, I believe.
90 years ago, my goodness. So no wonder there were some diehards. I can imagine that. One part of the building, 75
years old. It's an historical area.
Sure.
And, you know, we want to respect that. Today, the commission voted to sell that property to Blue Springs Baptist Church. Oh. And part of what they want to do is to renovate the gym, use it for a polling center, and they also want to put a memorial there to people who lost their lives in those storms. Yeah. So I think that's a very positive step in the right direction for that community to have something there that they'll be proud of, and we're glad to see that happen.
Good deal. Well, I'll tell you what.
You want to take a commercial break?
Let's take a commercial break and come back and talk a little bit more. Can you stay for a few more minutes? We'll talk a little bit more about this. We're going to take a break. We're going to be back with Johnny McDaniel, Superintendent of Bradley County Schools, talk more about the wheel tax and other things that are going on in the county with the school system right after we return after these messages. Stay tuned. Have annoying biting and stinging insects taken over your yard? Volunteer Ridipest can get it back. Make your yard a no-fly zone with Mosquito Guard. Volunteer Ridipest will eliminate these annoying pests, and you'll be able to work in your yard, have a pool party, a cookout, allow your children to play outside, or just sit outside and enjoy the evening. Volunteer Ridipest has developed an extremely effective treatment program that treats all shrubs, bushes, trees, and other foliage where mosquitoes and other biting, stinging insects live and breed. This material will not harm your plants or trees and leaves no harmful residue. This treatment program is safe for use around children and pets, but the best part is it's 100% guaranteed. If you are not 100% satisfied, Volunteer Ridipest will retreat for free until you are satisfied, or after 30 days will cancel their agreement and refund 100% of your money. Give Volunteer Ridipest a call for a free no-obligation estimate. Phone 472-7736.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Welcome back to Tennessee Valley this morning on this middle of the week Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. Joe and Kim Palo with you, and we are joined by Johnny McDaniel, Superintendent of Bradley County Schools, who is with us today. We're talking about the wheel tax. We're talking about other issues with the county school system.
Right, and I don't know that you guys, well, I know you have, you just noticed the great promo that they have put out. That's a great promo that you guys have that is looking for support for the wheel tax, that kind of explains the different areas and the reason like you have. But that was very well done. Nice job. Nice job, guys.
Well, thank you. Miss Lawson, Angela Lawson, she was the principal down at Blue Springs. She helped me put that together. She's been working this year as a teacher evaluation specialist. You know, that's big news around Tennessee that last year we enacted the new team model for teacher evaluation.
Oh, wow.
In Bradley County, we decided to move to the model that was used in Hamilton County called coach model. Okay. So we're moving away from the state model to the coach model used in Hamilton. We believe it's more teacher friendly. Yeah. Principals get in the classroom more often, shorter times. We believe it'll be beneficial to the classroom.
When Jennifer, she teaches out at North Lee, and when principal is coming in, you know, she's here on Monday nights with us. Her husband is here, Ashley Rayburn, but Jennifer Rayburn, she teaches at North Lee, which is my alma mater. That's why I went to elementary school, is at North Lee. And but yeah, with the principals being in the classroom, you know, she would come in on somebody and say, "Oh, the principal was there," you know, today. And she really enjoys it though, because they really get to feel, you know, get back there. Most principals have been in the classroom many times times, and
Yeah.
but as going back to that and being there for support. For
And it's
a good
great for
program.
accountability on the teacher's part.
Yes.
You know,
Absolutely.
Because you can't just behave one day.
right?
No, well, in Tennessee,
I try, but
well, if somebody's checking on you, then you know that you're going to try to do the best that you can.
Sure.
And I believe that most of our teachers try to do that all the time. But as you've said, Joe, there's more accountability today. People are asking for that, and I believe that going in the classroom and doing an observation or doing the evaluation annually is a good thing.
Sure.
We were doing 2 in 10 years, 1 every 5 years on teachers. So we went to
Wow.
doing 2 evaluations a year on teachers. So that was a big change for our teachers here across the state. But they adapted quite well, did a great job. We just believe moving to coach model is going to be a little more teacher friendly.
Good.
We'll be in the classroom more often, less time, see really what's going on across the day. So,
Well, let me ask you
think
now,
it'll work
with
great.
that being said, let's say a teacher gets evaluated and they're just not up to snuff on this particular evaluation. What's the process they have to go to? I mean, what happens to them at that point?
Joe, we would
Detention.
put on we would put them on an improvement plan.
Sure.
We'd have some experts come in and work with them. That's what Angela was doing.
Sure.
She was working as our evaluation specialist. But we have folks at the central office who would go out, and the principal work with the teacher and try to help them to improve. That would be our expectation, and that our students, their needs would be met, and that the classroom instruction would be the very best that it can be. So that would be the goal. If we identify someone needing help, we provide them the help.
Good.
If they're not willing to work with us, then we have to make other decisions. But I'd
right.
say, 95% of the folks we work with, they really want to do a great
They want
job.
to do a
Sure.
good
Oh, yeah.
job. Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe wants to do a good job.
Yes, I
He
try.
does a great job. He's lived with you for 34
That's
years.
exactly it. Do you know how many times her mom has evaluated me? That's another story.
Yes.
She's tried to help me too, and I'm in that 5% category, I think.
And you're still around.
I'm still around.
The improvement plan has worked, Joe.
That's right. That's right. And if you don't watch it, I'm going to make a phone call, and you might have another.
Oh, good. What? No,
I'll
what?
invite her up.
No, come on now. I love my mother-in-law, though.
I know you do.
And Johnny knows her very well, and we all love her. I've loved her for a long time.
It was great to be with you for her 80th birthday
Yes.
celebration
I
and to hear
know.
the great stories, and it was wonderful. I
thought that was really nice. And thank you for coming. We appreciate you guys. I mean, Mom's always loved you. She's always had
She remembers me with the long blonde hair.
Yes, that's what she said.
I know.
Yes, when I was first.
We could tell everybody something you don't know.
Right.
Long blonde hair back in the day,
Long
back in the 70s.
That's right. That
Mr.
was a
Johnny
thing back then.
McDaniel was
And as we digress
sporting.
away from, but now that we're in the age group that we're in, could you ever understand why don't you hate the hair long? Like when it gets touching my neck, I'm like, get rid of this. What happened? Back then it was like we wanted it long, and now I couldn't stand to have it. If somebody said, grow your hair out, I couldn't do it. I can't.
I'm an educator, so you learn with
That's
time
right.
and
And most of our
experience.
kids have hair down, almost to their waist. I mean,
I just don't understand it anymore.
Yeah. It's just a thing you go through.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I mean, it phased, but back in those days. All right, let's get back on the wheel tax real quick.
No
Question.
sense. We've already just left it.
Yeah, we'll go back to it. We'll go back because it's very important.
It is important.
Okay. A question here, and this is, why can't the county just borrow the money like they used to do in the past? Why do we have to go this route?
Joe, it really has to do with the expenditures from the county. They've really, if it's a credit card in your home, they've maxed out the credit card.
Okay.
And the amount of revenue coming in, and then their bills or the budgets that they have to fund, there's just really no money left over after they fund the budgets for all the different departments and the debt that has already accrued over time. They just really can't borrow any money unless there's additional revenue. So they have to come up with another way of having some increased revenue to be able to pay the bills.
And so none of this new money is going to go towards old debt.
Well, the way that the resolution
That's
is
why-
that if this is managed well, and depending on the interest rate,
Right.
if there's any left over, it would go
okay.
toward paying down the debt that had already accrued prior to the wheel tax. So in my opinion, it's a win-win. We get
Right.
the new projects, the money it's guaranteed. A lot of people say, well, I would vote for it if I knew it was going for education. And the commission did as good a job as they could. It was in the piece of legislation that they passed to say the resolution.
I
Yes.
have that here in case any of you want to know about it. Give me a call.
It's very tight. It says specifically how they're going to use
Right.
this money. The $32, that's what they believe they would need to to generate enough money to pay for these projects. So in my opinion, it's very solid. It is going for education. The Commission's been very transparent in how they've gone about this. Folks can go out into the community and hear them speak about it. I saw Commissioner Alford had a piece in the paper on Sunday where he explained about the wheel tax. Did a great job with that piece, the editorial, and appreciate the Commission's support. This is not just a Bradley County Schools project, it's a Bradley County Schools, Cleveland City Schools.
Yeah.
The Commission, the County Commission, they have supported this along with the City Council. So we appreciate the support because these projects are needed.
Yeah.
These are not just a wish list.
Right, this is not a wish list.
These are absolutely things that really we should have been able to address before now.
Right.
And as our community continues to grow with all of the businesses coming here, and the city schools, they've just had an influx of people, in part because a lot of housing was lost in the outer parts of our county, and a lot of people moved into town. That's part of it. Our numbers were up again last year. The city numbers were up significantly last year. I think we're starting to see some growth around the growth of our community.
Yeah.
Schools grow. When communities grow, schools grow. So if we don't keep up with this, we're going to be in a very bad place.
And then if we don't keep up with it and we continue to let our students go to school and have to take classes in trailers where it's dangerous on top of everything else, and we continue to not upgrade the buildings and put air conditioning or new roofs and all this and that, you're going to find if you don't do that, more and more people are going to start homeschooling their kids again because there's no reason to send them if they feel they're not getting the best education and they're not in a place, a quality place. And you know, Lord knows if you look around in some of these school buildings that you are talking about, they are very old buildings, a lot of them that need to be updated.
And it's not going to get any better.
They can't go, yeah.
It's just going to get, I mean, and the longer you wait, that renovation just becomes, there are more standards, codes they have to
and it costs more.
Anytime that you have to do that. And so, it's better, you always find that it's just like as a homeowner, all of us out there, you let one thing go and the next thing, it's another thing and another thing. And then you've got a complete, bulldoze project instead of, if you'd just, if you'd just,
and if you want an example of that, come by and look at our house. Come by and look at our house. You want an example.
Shower 10 years ago, don't get me started.
Real quick though on this too. Okay, let's say in the perfect world that we're talking about here, the wheel tax gets passed, okay? How soon after the passing of that tax will they start construction on these schools and the renovation?
I think Johnny's probably got his hard hat ready.
Well, that is a great question. Under Tennessee law, the wheel tax has to come in for a year before it can be obligated to a bond issue. So it would be at least a year after the wheel tax passes.
Would you be planning and planning and planning?
Well, we're planning now.
Sure, I would be too.
We have the grant for Walker Valley. We may be able to get started as soon as the grant was approved.
Okay.
So with Walker Valley, we might be able to get started a little sooner.
Okay.
But with all of the projects, it would be about a year after the wheel tax passes.
And that goes by like that.
Yes.
I mean, that's
the older
really
you get, the faster it goes.
Yeah, it really. Well, of course, we're behind this, and I know you are.
Just a bit.
But we hope that folks will see the need, obviously, and as we know in this community, when there is a need, it does get met. And all they have to do to meet this need is just vote yes on August 2nd to the wheel tax.
Well, it's going to say 4 against.
4 against.
And so we ask people to vote for the wheel tax. It's the way that our governmental leaders have said that we can pull our resources and do some good projects for our school systems, both the school systems. We appreciate that consideration, but it's really coming down to the voters. It's going to come down to people who believe that this would be helpful, and if they do, then they can vote for this. I do believe it's going to help our children.
I do too.
At these particular schools. I think it's very solid in how they've done it. It's very transparent. Answers a lot of the questions that people usually have about why should I vote for this? Will it really go for education? Right. And the Commission has done their very best to say, yes, we want this to go for education.
Is there a place that a person can go if you're sitting out there? Is it on the website? Is there a website?
Absolutely.
Is there somewhere that details it? So if they want, not just listening to us, go back and forth, but if they want to really take a look at it, is there a place that they can look at it and make that decision?
Kim, if people will go to the Bradley County Schools website, you can do it 2 ways. You can Google Bradley County Schools, Google it, click.
Google it, yep.
Or you can put in the Bradley Schools with an S, bradleyschools.org, and it'll take you to our website. And on that front page, when you go there right now, we have this clip that will come up on your computer, and it will actually give you this this little piece that we have here that you're showing in some of the commercials. But there's also a spot there, a link for you to go and see the resolution. You can read the resolution, what the County Commission passed. You can also see the bulleted check sheet that I've given to you, Joe, that informational sheet that answers a lot of the questions. We really sat down and talked through the questions that we thought people would have, and when we go out and speak, we've tried to answer those questions. People go to our website, click on that, the wheel tax, they can get a lot of their questions answered.
Make up your mind. I mean, because we want everybody, that's who we are. It's your freedom of choice, your freedom of vote. We want you to vote the way we want you to vote, but at the same time, we understand it is your vote. So make an informed decision. Go to the website, take a look at it,
and then vote for.
Educated, and then vote for.
Johnny, thank you for being with us and explaining this.
Ron Moore forgot us.
That's all right. We'll have him next Wednesday.
He promised you next week, but we're glad we had extra time with you. Thanks for staying.
Hey, we got to go. We'll see you next Wednesday. We want to thank Johnny. We want to thank Missy, and we want to also thank John Cross. Have yourself, huh? Linda, I'm sorry. Let's say John Cross. That was yesterday. Linda Heisey. Okay. We'll be back next Wednesday morning at 6:30. Thank you for joining us. Have yourself a good week. For Joe and Kim, this is Joe saying goodbye.